Hello friends, I am here to tell you a relaxing story which lead you to sleep with sweet dreams. Let's begin with Chapter 1. Chapter 1. The sleepiest mouse in Maple Hollow. In the quietest corner of Maple Hollow, where the sunlight spilled like honey through the trees and the grass swayed in slow, sleepy sighs, there lived a tiny mouse named Millo. He wasn't like the other mice in the forest. While his friends chased beetles and leapt from mushrooms, Millo preferred the slower things in life, like watching clouds drift by or curling up with a warm cup of thistle tea in his mossy little bed. Millo was known far and wide as the sleepiest mouse in all the woods. He yawned more than he spoke, blinked slowly with heavy lids, and carried the scent of lavender and lullabies wherever he went. While most creatures started their day with a stretch and a scamper, Millo began his with a gentle sigh, a sleepy hum, and a promise to find the perfect place for his next nap. He lived in a cozy burrow beneath the roots of an old oak tree. His home was filled with soft blankets made of feather tufts, curtains sewn from spider silk, and shelves lined with little bottles of soothing scents, chamomile, mint, and clover. His favorite spot of all was a hammock woven from dandelion fluff, but swayed gently above a pond of whispering frogs. One soft spring morning, the animals of Maple Hollow were buzzing with excitement. It was the day of the Forest Festival, a once-a-season celebration full of music, dancing, honey cakes, and twinkling lights. All the critters prepared with glee. Badgers baked pies, squirrels tied ribbons, and even the shy hedgehogs polished their spines. Millo, blinking sleepily, rubbed his eyes with his tiny paws and peeked out of his cozy burrow. Oh, he murmured with a yawn. Is that today? Despite his love for quiet moments, Millo didn't want to miss the celebration. He brushed his fur with a soft thistle comb, tucked a daisy behind his ear, and made his way slowly to the heart of the forest, where the trees opened into a clearing full of light and laughter. Music floated through the air, lilting notes from bluebird flutes and hollow log drums. Lanterns hung from every branch, glowing with fireflies inside. The scent of honey and fresh berries danced on the wind. Millo wandered gently through the celebration, smiling at the dancing bunnies, nodding to the sleepy owls perched in the trees. But after only a short while, the sunlight felt extra warm, the music extra slow, and Millo felt the soft pull of a nap coming on. Near the edge of the clearing, he found a quiet nook beneath a willow tree, its long branches swaying like lullabies. He curled up in a patch of soft clover, let out a little sigh, and just like that, he was asleep. But Millo's dreams weren't like everyone else's. They were deeper, quieter, and filled with wonders not seen in the waking world. As he slept under the soft hum of the festival, Millo drifted into a dream that shimmered like silver water. In his dream, he floated on a cloud made of marshmallow mist. The sky above him sparkled with stars that pulsed gently like heartbeats. He felt weightless, peaceful, like the world had slowed just for him. A gentle wind carried him forward through the sky, where sleepy creatures snoozed on moonbeams and whispered dreams fluttered like butterflies through the air. Just then, a soft hoot echoed from above. A little one called a voice. What brings you to the realm of dreams? Of dreams. Millo looked up to see a large owl with feathers that glowed like stardust and eyes as deep as the night sky. The owl floated down beside him, wings barely stirring the air. I just fell asleep, Millo said, his voice as soft as a breeze, like I always do. The owl tilted his head and looked at Millo with a kind smile. Then you must be the one we've been waiting for. Millo blinked at me. What? You are the sleep mouse, the one whose dreams can travel, whose sleep can soothe others. There is magic in your rest, Millo, more than you know. Millo's whiskers twitched. But I'm just a sleepy mouse. I nap, I dream. That's all. The owl chuckled, a sound like wind rustling in tall grass. Exactly, that is your gift. And soon you'll understand how important that gift truly is. Before Millo could ask what that meant, the dream began to fade like mist in morning light. The owl's wings stretched wide, and his voice echoed softly as everything began to blur. Sleep well, little dreamkeeper, your journey is only beginning. Back in Maple Hollow, the Forest Festival continued to sparkle and sing. But nestled beneath the willow tree, Millo stirred gently in his clover bed, a tiny smile on his face. The breeze whispered through the branches, and somewhere in the distance, a star twinkled a little brighter. Chapter 2. Dreaming in the moonlight that night, after the forest festival had quieted down and all the creatures of Maple Hollow had drifted off to sleep, Millo lay curled in his soft bed beneath the oak tree. A warm glow from the firefly lanterns outside flickered gently through the leaves. Millo's breathing slowed, his tiny chest rising and falling like a feather on water. But tonight's sleep felt different. As soon as Millo's eyes fluttered shut, he felt the familiar tug of dreams. Except this time, it wasn't like floating lazily down a stream or napping in a hammock on a breezy afternoon. No, this dream felt like a door slowly creaking open, a gentle pull, a soft whisper that said, "Come with me, little one." And so Millo drifted once more. This time he found himself walking, not floating. The path led Millo to a beautiful garden that floated on a cloud. It was full of sleeping animals from all over the world. A lion curled beside a rabbit. A wolf rested beside a deer. Birds snoozed in nests shaped like lanterns, and fish swam slowly through bubbles of glowing air. Everything in this dreamland pulsed with peace. At the center of the garden stood a tall tree with silver bark and leaves made of moonlight. Its branches reached into the stars and its roots shimmered beneath the clouds. Beneath it sat the glowing owl Millo had seen before. "You came back," the owl said with a warm hoot, "just as I knew you would." Millo approached slowly, looking around in awe. "Oh, where am I?" "Oh, this," said the owl, "is the Moonlight Garden, the place between dreams, a realm only reached by those with a special gift. Here dreams grow like blossoms and sleep flows like rivers. And you, Millo, are now a part of it." Millo's ears twitched. "But I don't understand. Why me? I just nap. I just like being quiet and cozy." The owl nodded. "And that is exactly why you were chosen. While others run and leap, you rest. While the world rushes, you listen to silence. You are in harmony with sleep, and sleep listens to you in return." Millo blinked, unsure if he should be proud or confused. "What does that mean?" "It means," the owl said, rising and flapping his great wings, "that you are the dream keeper now." Tiny stars stirred in the owl's wake. He hovered above Millo and gently touched his feathery wing to the mouse's head. A soft warmth filled Millo's tiny body, from the tips of his ears to the end of his tail. You have the power to soothe restless minds, to guide dreams into gentle places, to carry peace like pollen, floating it from one sleepy heart to the next. Millo felt a strange flutter in his chest. Not fear, not excitement, but something calm and certain, like finding a perfectly warm spot of sun on a chilly day. "But I'm just one little mouse," Millo whispered. "Even the quietest whisper can calm a storm," the owl replied. "Even the smallest light can guide the way." He turned and gestured with his wing toward the edge of the cloud. "Oh, come, let me show you where your journey begins." Millo padded alongside him, paws soft against the glowing path. They reached a shimmering pool of silver mist, and when Millo looked into it, he saw a valley beneath a stormy sky. Animals there looked tired, raccoons with bags under their eyes, deer with drooping heads, even foxes pacing in circles with frowns on their faces. "What is this place?" Millo asked. "Restless Ridge," the owl answered softly. "A land where sleep has been forgotten. The animals there have lost their dreams. No lullabies reach them. No peaceful winds pass through their trees. They need you." "A me?" Millo squeaked, stepping back. "Yes," said the owl gently. "Because you carry the calm within you. Not all heroes wear armor. Some wear sleepy smiles and carry pockets full of lavender. You don't have to change who you are. Just bring what you already have." Millo stared at the pool again, watching the tired creatures. His heart ached for them. He didn't know how to help, but something in him stirred. A calling, not loud or demanding, but soft, deep, like the tug of a lullaby. "I'll try," he said. The owl smiled. "That's all the dream world ever asks." Suddenly a breeze blew through the moonlight garden, carrying petals of glowing light. The silver tree swayed and the clouds began to dim. The dream was ending. Millo felt himself growing lighter, fading back into the real world. Remember, the owl's voice echoed as everything grew misty. Sleep is a gift. And now it's your turn to share it. With that, Millo opened his eyes back in Maple Hollow, tucked beneath his blanket. The morning sun peeked through the branches above. He blinked slowly, yawned, and smiled. He didn't know exactly how, but he knew he had to help. And maybe, just maybe, being the sleepiest mouse in the woods was more powerful than anyone had ever guessed. Chapter 3. The Land Where No One Sleeps the Next Night. As the stars sprinkled across the velvet sky and the creatures of Maple Hollow began to drift into dreams, Millo climbed into his favorite dandelion fluff hammock. He stared up at the moon, remembering the glowing owl and the promise he had made. Restless Ridge, a place where no one could sleep, a place where he, a sleepy little mouse, was needed. And as his eyelids grew heavy, the wind outside whispered through the trees like a lullaby, and Millo let go of the waking world once more. In an instant, he found himself standing at the edge of a strange land. The sky above was dusky and dim, but no stars shone. The trees were tall and gray, their leaves rustling with an unsettled hum. A thick fog swirled around the ground, and the air smelled of worry and worn-out dreams. This was Restless Ridge. Millo took a deep breath and stepped forward. Every part of him wanted to curl up and nap, but he remembered the tired eyes in the dream pool and the gentle voice of the owl saying, "You carry the calm within you." The first creature Millo saw was a raccoon pacing in frantic little circles. His fur was frazzled and his eyes darted nervously. "I can't sleep, can't stop thinking, can't sit still," the raccoon muttered over and over. Nearby, a family of deer tossed and turned on a bed of dry leaves, their legs twitching with every rustle. A rabbit clutched a pillow and stared into the distance, her ears drooping low. No one was sleeping. No one had peace. Millo's heart ached. He padded over to the raccoon and softly said, "Hello." The raccoon paused, startled. "Who are you?" he asked, eyes wide. "My name is Millo," the mouse said gently. "I'm here to help you rest." The raccoon blinked. "I haven't slept in 4 nights, maybe 5. My thoughts won't stop. Even when I lie down, my mind keeps spinning like a top." Millo nodded kindly. "I understand. Let me try something." He sat beside the raccoon and reached into the little satchel that had appeared at his side, a dream satchel given to him by the Moonlight Garden. Inside were simple but magical things: a pouch of soft lullaby dust, a bundle of star-shaped herbs, and a tiny book of bedtime stories written in the language of dreams. Millo took out a pinch of lullaby dust and sprinkled it into the air. It shimmered like tiny silver feathers floating gently around them. Then with his softest voice he began to hum a melody he remembered from his own sleepy burrow. A song the wind sometimes whistled through the trees, low and slow, rising and falling like a quiet breeze. The raccoon blinked once, then twice. His ears twitched, his breathing slowed, his paws stopped fidgeting, and then he yawned. Millo smiled. "That's it. Let your eyes rest. Let your thoughts float like leaves on a stream." The raccoon curled up beside him and for the first time in many nights closed his eyes in peace. One by one, other animals began to notice. A squirrel crept closer, then a fox, then a badger who looked like he hadn't sat still in days. Millo stood on a mossy rock and spoke to them in a gentle voice, calm and kind. "I come from the woods beyond, where sleep flows like rivers and dreams grow like flowers. I've been sent to share what I know. You are not broken, you are tired, and that's okay. And that's okay." The animals listened, drawn not by force, but by the warmth in Millo's words. He invited them to lie down, to close their eyes, even if just for a moment. From his dream satchel, he pulled out glowing leaves that glowed with moonlight and let their scent drift on the air. He whispered the words of the ancient bedtime book, and each word wrapped around the animals like a blanket of calm. And slowly, oh so slowly, Restless Ridge began to quiet. The deer curled together and sighed in unison. The rabbit leaned against a log, finally letting her eyes flutter close. Even the anxious fox with his sharp ears and twitching tail lay his head on his paws and gave in to the peace he'd forgotten he needed. Above them, the stars began to reappear in the sky, one by one, like sleepy eyes blinking open. The fog lifted ever so slightly, revealing patches of soft grass and silver moss. It was as if the land itself had exhaled. Millo sat in the center of the clearing, watching over them all. He didn't feel big or brave. He didn't feel like a hero, but he felt something even better, helpful, at home. Exactly where he was meant to be. As he sprinkled the last of the lullaby dust into the air, a soft breeze swirled around him, carrying a voice he knew well. "You've done well, little one," the owl's voice whispered through the wind. "The calm you carry has touched their heart. But your journey is not over yet." Millo closed his eyes, letting the wind wash over him. For now Restless Ridge could sleep, and that, he thought, was a very good start. Chapter 4. Millo's gift. The sun rose softly over Maple Hollow. its golden light kissing the tips of the trees and trickling into Millo's cozy burrow. The forest was peaceful, the leaves rustling with sleepy whispers, and the world felt calm, like it had been wrapped in a warm, woolly blanket. Millo stretched beneath his quilt, paws reaching into a beam of morning light. He blinked slowly, smiling to himself. The dream from the night before lingered like a melody in his chest. Restless Ridge had fallen asleep. Every tired creature had finally found peace. And Millo, he had found something even greater than dreams. As he sat up in bed, Millo noticed something curious. His dream satchel, the one he had only ever seen in his sleep, was now resting gently at the foot of his hammock. It shimmered faintly like the morning dew on spider silk. Millo tiptoed closer and opened it. Inside were soft glowing leaves, a tiny moonbeam flute, and a scroll tied with silver thread. He unrolled it carefully. In delicate curling script it read, "To the mouse who brought rest to the restless, you carry the calm that dreams are made of. This gift now lives with you, not just in dreams, but in your waking world. Wherever you go, you will carry sleep and peace like a lantern in the dark. When the world grows noisy or hearts grow heavy, your gift will remind them. Peace is always waiting. Close your eyes, breathe, begin again." Millo read the words twice, maybe 3 times, his heart full and warm. He gently placed the scroll back in the satchel and tied it shut. He understood now. He had been chosen not just to visit the world of dreams, but to be a little guardian of sleep wherever he roamed. That very evening, as twilight settled in and the sky blushed purple and pink, Millo wandered out into the forest. He walked softly between the trees, greeting fireflies and listening to the wind. Along the way, he met a tiny bird whose feathers drooped with worry. Her nest had fallen, and she hadn't slept since the storm. Millo sat with her, reached into his satchel, and pulled out a glowing leaf. He placed it beneath her head like a pillow and played a few gentle notes on his moonbeam flute. Within moments, her breathing slowed, and she tucked her beak beneath her wing. Sleep came to her as easily as the breeze through the trees. Later, a pair of hedgehog twins came stumbling through the woods, yawning and sniffling after waking from a scary dream. Millo led them to a soft bed of moss, gave them each a drop of dream dust, and told them a story about a hill made of marshmallows and a rainbow made of lullaby. Their giggles turned into sighs, and soon they were fast asleep, curled beside each other under the moonlight. Word of Millo's gift spread quietly but quickly. Animals came not in panic, but in hope, drawn to the little mouse with the sleepy eyes and the calming voice. And Millo never turned anyone away. He never rushed. He never made a fuss. He simply shared what he carried inside. Stillness, kindness, and the sweet magic of knowing that rest is a kind of love. Back in his burrow, each night, Millo would hang his satchel by the window and sit beneath the stars. And every night he would close his eyes and whisper, "May all the sleepy hearts find peace tonight," and somehow cross the woods and through the dreams of every creature big and small. That wish would drift like music on the wind. One evening, as Millo watched the moon rise, the great glowing owl appeared again, perched high on a silver branch. "You've done more than help them sleep, Millo," he said, his voice like velvet. "You reminded them that they're not alone in the dark, that calm lives within them too." Millo smiled, sleepy and content. "I only shared what I knew." The owl bowed his head. "That's the greatest kind of gift." Then with a rustle of feathers, the owl disappeared into the starlit sky and Millo climbed back into his head. The fireflies danced outside his burrow and the wind carried lullabies through the trees. As Millo pulled his quilt up to his chin, he thought of all the creatures in the forest, resting beneath the stars. He thought of Restless Ridge, now peaceful, of the hedgehogs and the bird, of the gentle hum of sleep that now whispered through every branch. And as his eyes fluttered shut, a smile curled on his face. The world was sleeping, his work was done, and all was well. Good night, Millo. Good night, forest. Good night, dreamer. Sleep sweetly, sleep soft, sleep safe. Stars are watched